The room was quiet. Only the sound of the oil lamp made a soft tick-tick as the flame danced. Elder Ekon sat still, eyes closed for a moment, breathing slowly like he was talking to spirits in his head. Dara sat beside Mama, her hands folded tightly on her lap. Anya sat on the floor, knees drawn up, watching the elder like he was a ghost about to speak. Finally, Elder Ekon opened his eyes. "My children," he said. His voice was deep, like it came from the ground. "What I'm about to tell you, no one in this village knows. Not even your mother." Mama gasped softly. "What are you saying, Ekon?" "I kept this truth buried for many years," he said. "But the curse has shown its face again. And now, the time has come." Dara leaned forward. "Please, tell us. I'm tired of smelling like death. I want to know why." Elder Ekon looked at her with pain in his eyes. "Because, child, your pain began long before you were born." He turned slowly and reached behind him. From a small wooden box, he pulled out a faded cloth. Inside, it was an old carving, a tiny figure made of dark wood, with a broken face and missing arm. "This," he said, "belonged to your great-grandfather." The air felt colder. "He was a chief," Elder Ekon said. "Strong. Respected. But greedy." He placed the carving on the ground between them. "Long ago, this land was suffering. No rain. No food. People were dying. Your great-grandfather, Chief Odor, was desperate. So he went to the hills, to meet the woman who lived alone in the forest." Anya whispered, "A witch." Ekon shook his head. "Not a witch. A guardian. Her name was Isatu. She was a spirit in human skin. She had the power to speak to the gods, to call down rain, to bless wombs, and protect villages." Dora's eyes were wide now. Chief Odor begged her for help. He wanted rain. He wanted power. He wanted his enemies to bow. And Isatu agreed, but only if he promised one thing. Ekon's voice lowered. He must protect her sacred shrine. Forever. He must never let harm come to it. In return, she gave him what he asked. The rains came. The land grew again. He became feared, rich, and loved. Mama closed her eyes. But he broke the promise. Ekon nodded slowly. Years later, white men came. They wanted land to build a road. The shrine was in their way. Odor let them destroy it, and he took their money. Dora let out a breath. He sold her out. Yes, Ekon said. And Isatu, she cursed his bloodline. She said, as your heart has decayed with greed, so will your line carry the scent of that rot. One in every generation will bear the mark of your betrayal. He looked at Dora. And this time, it's you. Dora's body shook like a cold wind had passed through her. No, she whispered. No, that's not fair. I didn't do anything. I know, Ekon said gently. But the curse is not about you. It's about him. And the weight falls on the innocent. Anya covered her mouth. But why her? Why not me? Ekon looked at her, long and slow. Every generation, it falls on the one who is most like Isatu. The one who carries purity, softness, and depth. But also silence. Hidden pain. He turned back to Dora. That is why he chose you. Because you are like her. Dora was crying now. She wiped her face, but more tears came. So I have to live like this forever. Smelling like I'm rotten. People hate me. I hate myself. No, Ekon said. The curse can be broken. But only if the bloodline makes it right. Mama finally spoke, her voice low and shaking. What must we do? Ekon closed his eyes again. You must find the remains of the shrine, he said. Clean it. Rebuild it. Honor it. And then, offer something sacred from the bloodline that betrayed her. He looked at the girls. Either of you can give it. But it must come from the heart. Not out of fear. Or the curse will grow stronger. Anya stood up. I'll do it. I'll give whatever it takes. Dara doesn't deserve this. Dara looked at her twin. For once, she didn't speak. She just stared, and wondered if it was really possible to be free. The oil lamp flickered again, and the shadows on the wall danced like spirits watching them. The room was dark except for the small lamp between their beds. The flame made everything look softer, but not safer. Dara sat on the edge of her mattress. Her back was straight. Her face was still. Her hands were on her knees. Anya stood near the window, arms crossed, looking out at the night sky like it had answers. But there were no answers. Only silence. Dara spoke first. Her voice was low. So now we know. Anya didn't turn. Yeah. My smell. It's not just from nowhere. It came from blood. From our name. Anya's eyes filled with tears. She blinked fast. I didn't know, Dara. I swear. I believe you. Dara paused. But believing doesn't change anything. Silence again. Anya turned around, leaning against the wall. It could have been me, right? Elder Ekon said the curse picks one. Could have been anyone. But it wasn't, Dara said, looking at her. It picked me. Anya looked down. I hate that. I hate that you got the worst of everything. People love me. They greet me. Boys chase me. Teachers smile at me. And you? They run from you. Dara gave a small, bitter laugh. Even you ran from me once. Anya winced. I was young. You were old enough to know better. Anya sat on her own bed now, facing Dara. I want to fix it, she said. I told Elder Ekon I'd give anything. My jewelry. My clothes. I'll even cut my hair if that's what the spirits want. Dara smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. They don't want your earrings, Anya. Or your braids. They want something real. Anya leaned forward. Then what? What can I give that's big enough? Dara's voice cracked. Your life. Anya froze. I don't mean death, Dara said quickly. I mean your life. Your comfort. Your name. Your clean image. That's what they want. That's what he gave up, power for greed. So to fix it, someone must give up the image of power for truth. Anya's face went pale. You're asking me to, what? Tell everyone about the curse. Dara shrugged. I'm not asking. I'm just saying what I heard. Anya looked down at her own feet. Her voice was shaky now. You think I'm too soft? Dara didn't answer. You think I care too much about what people say? About being liked? Still no answer. Anya looked up. Do you think I'm fake? Dara looked away. I think you've never had to fight for space. I think you walk into rooms and people smile. And I walk in and they choke. Anya's mouth opened. Then closed. Then opened again. I never asked for any of that, she whispered. I know, Dara said. But I never asked to smell like a corpse either. They sat in silence again. The lamp flickered. The shadows on the wall looked like they were listening. Anya wiped her eyes. You're angry. You'd be. Dara nodded. I am. Anya looked at her sister with fresh tears. But I love you, Dara. I really do. I just don't always know how to show it. Dara's voice softened. Then show it now. How? Don't fix me, Dara said. Just stand beside me. Even when it's hard. Even when people stare. Even when you're ashamed. Anya nodded slowly. Okay, she whispered. I will. Dara gave her a look. Don't promise unless you mean it. I mean it, Anya said. I'll go wherever you go. If we have to walk into fire, I'll hold your hand. For the first time that night, Dara smiled, really smiled. And for a moment, it felt like the curse had less power. But deep down, they both knew the hard part was still coming. Anya stood by the door, holding the bag. Dara wrapped a scarf around her shoulders and stepped out barefoot, quiet as a whisper. They didn't say a word. They had planned this without speaking, just with looks, nods, and the same pain in their eyes. Dara held the carved figure close to her chest. She could feel its rough edges. It felt warm, or maybe it was just her heart beating fast. They walked past the big mango tree, past the empty goat pen, past the edge of the village, and into the bush. The grass was wet with dew. It stuck to their feet. The path ahead was small and barely visible. Are you sure it's this way? Anya asked. Dara nodded. Elder Ekon said, walk where the trees lean away from the light. That's where the shame hides. They walked deeper. Trees grew thicker. The air changed. It smelled like old rain, mud, and something else, something strange. Like forgotten things. Dara stopped. Can you hear that? Anya held her breath. Then she heard it, a faint sound, like someone crying. But it wasn't human. It was soft and broken, like wind whipping through dead leaves. They kept walking. After some minutes, they reached a clearing. It wasn't big, just a round space in the forest, quiet and cold. In the middle of it was a broken stone, half covered in moss. Pieces of wood and ash lay around it. This is it, Dara whispered. The shrine. They stood still. The trees around them leaned back, like they didn't want to touch the place. Anya stepped forward. It looks dead. It is dead, Dara said. Because our family killed it. She took the carving from her scarf and placed it gently on the stone. Suddenly, the wind picked up. Cold air rushed past them. The trees shook. Anya grabbed Dara's arm. What was that? I think it knows we're here. They knelt beside the stone. Dara took a small clay bowl from the bag. She had filled it with clean water before they left. Elder Ekon said we must clean the shrine, Dara said. They dipped pieces of cloth into the bowl and slowly began wiping the stone. It was covered in dirt, leaves, spiderwebs, and old, dry blood. Anya froze. Is that? Dara nodded. He said people used to bring goats here. For peace offerings. They kept wiping. Their hands moved slow and careful, like they were touching something sacred. The air around them felt tight. Heavy. Like they were being washed. Then Dara spoke. I feel her. Anya looked up. Who? Isatu. She closed her eyes. I don't know why. But I feel her. They both stood now. The shrine was clean, at least, as clean as it could be. What now? Anya asked. We speak the truth, Dara said. Out loud. She stepped forward, her voice shaking. Isatu, she said, I am Dara. The daughter of Ada. The great-granddaughter of Obadiah. Anya stood beside her. And I am Anya. Her twin. Dara took a deep breath. We didn't break your shrine. But we carried the pain. Anya spoke next. We are sorry. For what he did. For the land he sold. For the silence that followed. Dara's voice broke. We ask for mercy. Not just for me, but for every child who will come after us. Then she did something that surprised Anya. She knelt. Not out of fear. Not out of weakness. But because something inside her knew this was where it began. And maybe this is where it ends. Anya followed and knelt too. They stayed there, heads bowed, hands joined. Then the wind stopped. Completely. No birds. No sound. Nothing. And the air changed again. Warm now. Like breath. Dora looked up slowly. And there, just for a second, standing behind the trees, was the shape of a woman. Tall. Thin. Eyes glowing like fireflies. But when Anya looked, there was nothing there. "What is it?" she whispered. But Dora didn't answer. She just smiled, a small, quiet smile. "She's listening." They stood up slowly, still holding hands. "I think we've started something," Dara said. Anya squeezed her hand. "Then let's finish it." And with that, they turned and walked back through the trees, toward the next step. Toward the confrontation. The path was narrow now. Wild plants scratched their legs. The sun was rising, but the forest still felt dark. Dora pushed a branch aside. "It should be just ahead." Anya looked around. "This place, it feels wrong." "I know," Dora said. "Like the ground is holding its breath." Then they saw it, an old hut, broken at the top, covered in vines. A small fire was burning in front of it. The smoke rose in a straight line, like it didn't bend. And sitting beside the fire was an old woman. Her hair was white, thick, and wild like a crown of dry grass. Her face was full of lines, but her eyes were sharp, like two burning stones. She didn't move as they came closer. "You found me," she said, without looking up. The twins stopped. "I knew you would come one day," the woman said again. "The stink of your bloodline reached me before your footsteps." Dora swallowed. "Are you? Isatu?" The woman let out a dry laugh. "No. I am what's left of her. I am her voice. Her pain. Her grandchild. Her curse." Anya stepped forward. "We are sorry. We cleaned the shrine." "We?" The woman stood slowly. She held a long stick in her hand, carved with strange shapes. "You think washing stones can fix a broken heart?" Anya froze. The woman pointed at Dora. "Do you know how she died?" "Isatu." Dora shook her head. "She was burned alive," the woman said. Her voice was like sand. "By your great-grandfather's men. They said she stood in the way. She begged them. She cried. She offered peace. But they threw fire at her." The twins were silent. "She screamed for hours," the woman said. "I was a child hiding in the trees. I heard her cries. I never forgot." She looked hard at Dora. "Do you know why you smell?" Dora's lips trembled. "Because my blood is dirty." "No," the woman snapped. "Because your soul is clean. The curse doesn't pick the wicked. It picks the innocent, the ones who still have hearts soft enough to carry pain." Dora started crying. The woman didn't stop. "You are the reminder. The rot on your skin is the rot in your family tree." Anya stepped in front of Dora. "Stop. Please. She didn't hurt anyone." "I know," the woman said. "But she was born from someone who did. And pain must pass through blood, like a river." "But rivers can be cleaned," Anya said. "Can't they?" The woman didn't speak. Anya reached into her bag and pulled out the carved figure. "We brought this back," she said. "We spoke the truth at the shrine. We are ready to make it right." The old woman stepped closer. She looked at Anya, then at Dora. "I have waited for this," she said quietly. "Not the gift. Not the words. But the choice? What choice? Dara asked. One of you must carry the pain, the woman said. One must carry the weight, so the other can live free. Anya gasped. No. We already share the pain. Not enough, the woman said. You must choose who gives up what they love most. Only that will break the chain. Dara looked at Anya. Anya looked at Dara. Silence. Then Dara whispered, "Take my voice." Anya's eyes widened. What? Dara stepped forward. Take my voice. Let me never speak again. Let my silence carry the weight. Just let the smell go. The old woman looked surprised. That is not what I expected. But Anya shouted, "No. Take my beauty." They all turned to her. Anya's hands were shaking. Take my skin. My smile. My charm. Let people run from me. I carry the shame. I can handle it. Dara was crying again. Anya, no. I should have spoken up long ago, Anya said. Let me speak now, with my life. The woman stared at them both. Then she sat down by the fire. She picked up a bowl, poured water into it, and dropped 3 leaves inside. Choose, she said. Not for each other. For yourselves. Anya and Dara stepped forward. They looked at the bowl. They looked at each other. And they each reached out at the same time. The bowl sat between them. The water inside it was still, like glass. The 3 leaves floated quietly. The old woman's voice was flat. Drop what you are willing to lose. Anya and Dara didn't speak. They both knew what they had come to do. Dara went first. She reached into her scarf and pulled out a small silver ring. It was old. A gift from Mama. She dropped it into the water. It made no sound. Anya reached into her pocket and brought out a mirror, her favorite one. It had her name on the back, written in gold letters. She stared at her reflection for a long second, then turned the mirror away, and dropped it into the bowl. Still no sound. The old woman nodded. Step back. They moved slowly. The fire in front of the hut burned higher, brighter. The wind picked up. The trees groaned. Then, the old woman stood. She raised her stick. She spoke in a tongue the girls did not know. Suddenly, the bowl began to shake. The leaves spun fast. The water turned black. Dara held Anya's hand. It's happening. The sky above them went dark. As if a storm was rolling in, though there were no clouds. Just shadow. Then, a scream. It didn't come from any of them. It came from the earth. It sounded like 1,000 broken hearts crying at once. The girls dropped to their knees. The old woman raised both hands to the sky. Let the rot pass. Let the pain find new form. Then, silence. Everything stopped. The fire went out. The bowl cracked in half. And a heavy stillness covered the clearing. Dara looked up. She touched her skin. She sniffed the air. Nothing. No smell. Her eyes widened. Anya. It's gone. Anya gasped. You're clean. Dara laughed. For the first time in her life, it was free. Light. She jumped up, turning in a circle. I don't smell. I don't smell. Anya ran to her, hugged her tightly. But then, something changed. Anya pulled back. Her chest was rising fast. Her hands trembled. Dara. What? Anya's nose began to bleed. Her skin turned pale. Her voice cracked. Something's wrong. Dara caught her as she fell to her knees. Anya. Anya grabbed Dora's arm. It didn't leave. What do you mean? It didn't leave, it just moved. They both turned to the old woman. She was standing still, watching them with blank eyes. Dara shouted, "You said it would end." "I said it would change," the woman said. "You tricked us." The woman shook her head. "No. You asked for the pain to pass. You both gave what you loved most. So it passed into both of you." "What?" Dara said. The woman stepped closer. "The curse is no longer on one sister," she said. "It now lives in both. But not as a smell. Not as sickness." Anya whispered, "Then how?" "As memory," the woman said. "As weight. You both will carry the truth of what your family did. Together." Dara looked down. Her own hands were trembling now. But not from fear. From something else. Guilt. Power. She couldn't tell. "But will people still hate me?" she asked. "No," the woman said. "Because they won't see it. But you will feel it. Every day. In every step. And one day, when another stands where you stood, you will tell them the story. And they will carry it forward." Anya touched her chest. "So it never ends." The woman nodded. "Pain like this never ends. It just takes a new shape." Dara whispered, "Then we are the shape." "Yes," the woman said. The fire lit itself again, suddenly, as if agreeing. And then the woman turned and walked into the forest, disappearing behind the trees. The twins sat there. Silent. Still. Changed. The curse had left Dora's skin. But it had entered their bones. Comments below the type continue if you want to see episode 4. Your feedback will help shape future videos on this channel.